Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. On today's program, we will learn all about a new exhibit at the Q Arts Gallery in Quincy Center, focusing on the environment, including a special event for Earth Day later this month. First, though, as always, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, some hazy sunshine. It's 57 degrees right now. The real story is going to be the wind this afternoon, going to gust to about 25-30 miles per hour. That has put up a red flag warning for the danger of brush fires due to the windy, dry conditions. Highs today into the mid-50s. Chilly night tonight, clearing out. Lows drop off to the lower 30s. Pretty nice weekend coming up. It'll be bright. It'll be chilly. Highs tomorrow only about 50 degrees, about the same on Easter Sunday. Chilly for those sunrise services for sure on Sunday before things warm up to about 50 degrees. But look at Monday. Beautiful. Lots of sunshine. Highs into the lower 60s, and the temperatures just keep going up from there. Might be 80 by next Thursday. Again, some hazy sunshine, 57 degrees in Quincy right now. Checking news for you today, the Quincy City Council has approved almost $2 million in seawall and drainage improvements. Officials earlier this week okayed spending $995,000 to rebuild over 850 feet of seawall and raise the height by 2 feet in the Mannett Avenue, Babcock Street area of Howes Neck. Ward 1 City Councilor Dave McCarthy said the project is needed to help protect homes from future flooding.
When we do get a storm, we don't want another storm like 2018, but when we do get a storm, the water always comes over, regardless of the height, with the splash and the rain and the surge. But the drainage that's on C Street now really has improved that whole area. And a big thing is those outfall pipes that we're going to address.
So the project would also design the reconstruction of another 3,000 feet of seawall along Mannett Avenue. The state has granted the project almost $3 million. Also this week, the City Council approved $1 million for the repair and reconstruction of up to 16 of those outfall drain pipes and some other flood protection measures. The funding comes from the Sewer and Drain Rehabilitation Fund. Well, a public hearing will be held later on this month to discuss a plan by the state to take over the Quincy Courthouse. The Norfolk County Commissioners have set that hearing for April 19th at 4 p.m. in the Great Hall at Quincy City Hall. The Baker administration had proposed the creation of a regional justice center at the Quincy Courthouse site that would have included the District Court, Superior Court, and a housing court. The main issue is inadequate parking. Mayor Thomas Koch has told the state that the new parking garage across from the courthouse is already full. The mayor says the state may look at acquiring some other property along the adjacent Foster Street area for that new Justice Center. Officials say the current courthouse is too small and outdated for today's needs. Well, spring means road work. And here in Quincy, City Council President Noel DeBona says the DPW is already hard at work.
Get back into the repairs of the roads and sidewalks. Once that weather starts to break, right now, we're going to get out there. DPW Commissioner Al Gracioso is very aggressive out there to get this work done, as we have a time period. And then, obviously we get into, late November is when we have to cease, and we can't continue to do that repairs and new construction of sidewalks and roads. We obviously have appropriated $100 million, and we want to really attack that because time is of the essence. And some of the roads out there for certain people, they had to settle. There's roads that are in bad condition and need to be repaved and done over. So, well, I'm looking forward to, obviously, when the weather breaks like this, it's always a good time to take care of the roads and sidewalks. And we've done a real good job across the city, but there's more work to be done.
Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch also said that road and sidewalk repairs will take a top priority this year. The state recently approved $1.8 million in Chapter 90 money for road work in Quincy. A two-family home in Wollaston is a total loss after a two-alarm fire early on Wednesday morning. These photos from Quincy firefighters Local 792 show flames broke out on the second floor of 11 Willette Street at about 1:45 a.m. Quickly shot right through the roof. A female tenant on the first floor of the home escaped safely. There were no other occupants inside the house. Quincy firefighters kept the flames from spreading to nearby homes, and there were no injuries. Officials say it appears the fire started on the stairway to the second floor, which was being renovated. Access to that home was difficult because officials say it's located in the backyard of another house. The fire is not considered suspicious. However, the exact cause is still under investigation. Well, this Easter Sunday will be a little brighter for hundreds of children across the South Shore thanks to Interfaith Social Services' annual Bunny Basket program. Every year, Interfaith distributes spring-themed baskets filled with chocolate bunnies, flower seeds, small toys, and candy donated by Interfaith supporters. Quincy Cub Scout Pack 42 assembled more than 1,200 plastic eggs stuffed with small candies, and volunteers from Blue Cross Blue Shield and South Shore Bank helped to sort those donations and assemble more than 500 bags. The bags were distributed to children of Interfaith's food pantry clients aged 12 and under. Interfaith is already collecting donations for their next seasonal program. It's their back-to-school supplies and backpacks for the fall. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, we meet members of Shared Habitat Earth and learn about a new exhibit at the Q Arts Gallery in Quincy Center. That's next. Welcome back. There is a new exhibit on display at the Q Arts Gallery in Quincy Center called Shared Habitat Earth, or SHE. Today we're so pleased to welcome the founder of the organization and one of the artists involved to talk about what SHE is and what you'll be able to see there really through Earth Day this year. So please welcome Barbara Eskin and Yvonne Lamoth. Ladies, great to see you both. Thanks for coming over.
Good to be here.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity to learn about, Barbara, about Shared Habitat Earth and also about the art that folks will be able to see this month. What is Shared Habitat Earth, Barbara?
Ooh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a group of 40 plus, more than 40 artists who rallied around the idea of reaching out to the public through their art. And our message is the beauty of nature and what's happening to it if we don't make sure everything, life survives on this planet. It all began actually for me when I took a walk in the woods one day. I loved walking in the woods, and it was actually 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, and I felt embraced by nature out there. It was lovely. And the word Shared Habitat Earth came literally just came to me. Really? And I said to myself, that's strange. It sounds like an organization. Who needs an organization now? We have so many of them. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, S-H-E, she. I just loved that. Okay. So then I reached out to other artists. I was a member of Galatea Fine Arts Gallery in Boston, and I have a lot of artist friends, and I reached out to one, and somehow it just snowballed, and in a very short time we were a large group. The idea is to show through our art, to celebrate nature actually, the beauty of it, and at the same time to point out, if it still needs to be pointed out actually, to make clear, to show what is going to happen if we don't act to save it. So it's art with a purpose. It's art with a purpose. With a cause, right, yeah. Do you have a background in art yourself? Oh, sure. You do? Yeah. I'm from Germany originally. I moved. Before I moved here, I had a show in Germany and one in France. I lived in France for a while, and then I came here. And it took a while to adjust, and then I had shows here too. I see. But then, ever since climate change has become such an overwhelming threat, I haven't been able to paint myself. I feel like organizing, just doing what we're doing it together with others.
Really?
I feel you have more of an impact if I just show my own work. This is just much more powerful because we all have the same vision, the same concerns, but we have such different ways of expressing them.
I see. Yeah. Where was that walk? Where were the woods when you took that walk?
I was on Hammond Pond in
Oh, okay.
around I go there all the time.
Yeah.
I used to go there with my dog. Then my dog was no longer there. I'm going there by myself.
Interesting.
And I was alone,
Yeah.
but I didn't feel lonely out there.
So was that prompted because of the pandemic, Barbara? Were you trying to find more outdoor time, when we were all kind of in lockdown?
Well, actually, it was also, I always loved being out there.
Okay.
But somehow the pandemic made it even more of an urgency,
Yeah.
and it's also meditative. You can take walks out there. It's such a wonderful healing thing, except when you also begin to think that this might all no longer be there
Yeah.
if we don't act,
So you quickly, like you say, quickly organized about 40 artists now in
Yes,
the group.
yes,
One
yeah.
of them is Yvonne. Yvonne Lamoth. Welcome, Yvonne. Nice to meet you.
Hello. Yes.
Tell me a little bit about how you got involved with She.
Well, I was also a part of Galatea Fine Art,
I see.
which is in the SOA Art District. So that's how I met Barbara.
Okay. All right.
And I was a teacher in Boston Public Schools, an art teacher for many years,
Oh.
and moved to Quincy. And when I moved to Quincy, I discovered all the wetlands and being by the sea. And I also discovered some issues I had about the threat to the environment here because of the compressor station, which I have to admit, and more recently the fire at Clean Harbor. So that has really prompted me to feel like I have to learn more about that and take some action, because it's one thing to care about the environment and it's another thing not to act on what's going on. So becoming part of this group has been really a good way to be with other people who have strong concerns for what's happening globally and locally.
Right.
So
Yeah. So the exhibit Shared Habitat Earth has been kind of making the rounds in the Boston area.
Right.
Is
It
that
has,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And it's here in Quincy now. How did that connection happen? How did the
well, being a Quincy resident
Yeah.
now, I knew people who were part of the gallery running the
I see.
art gallery. I'll meet them on walks, and I'm also right now teaching a watercolor class. But
for
it
the Quincy
seemed-
Art Association?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that connection made it. I am part of Quincy Art Gallery, a member.
Yep.
And so I thought it was a perfect place to have an art show, especially because we are on the wetlands, and we've had some issues with water coming over the wall.
Yes,
and
yes. You just heard in the
that's-
news, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. So we're kind of in the midst of it here.
Okay, all
and
right.
so, yeah, people have to become aware.
Yeah. So we have actually some pictures of some of the
Mm-hmm.
pieces of art that are on exhibit. We'd like to show folks and give people a sense for what they might
Right.
see. And here's one of them. Might maybe explain a little bit about the
Oh,
work,
yeah.
the
Yes.
idea behind this piece. Yeah.
Yeah. That's Augusta. You
It's
wanna go for
Augusta.
it?
Yeah, I actually just spoke to Augusta. It's about the cod going further north
Okay, yep.
because of climate change.
Because of warmer waters, right?
Because of the warmer waters, and yeah, that's the intent behind her work. Her
Okay.
work is actually it's a fiber art piece. She prints on fabrics.
I was going to ask about the different medium.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so there's fiber. There's I'm assuming
Yes.
traditional
Painting,
oil on
a lot of
canvas.
painting, yeah.
Sculpture.
Yes.
Yes. Photography.
Yes.
Okay, so a little bit of
Yes,
everything.
a little
Okay,
bit of
let's show
everything.
folks another one and get a sense
That's
for
it.
what they might be able to see. Is this a peacock or a pheasant?
No.
or-
No.
No. Okay.
A cormorant.
It's
Oh,
a cormorant.
cormorant.
It's a little bit distorted. He looks a little more. He or she looks a little more slender.
Yeah.
In the real life, okay.
Yeah.
These are just pictures. We should point out.
Right, right.
Let's show the next
Nora
one.
Yeah.
Rosenbaum. Yeah. You want to show that?
That's
Take a look at the next one. and
Oh, yeah,
this-
that's
That's
James C.
James.
Varn. I mean, this is an interesting example of where he's, it's ambiguous. He
Yep.
shows nature, and he shows something that might be a sunset. It might also be a roaring fire.
I see, okay.
There's, that's what we, it's abstract.
Yep.
Don't look for specifics, but he's suggesting, the beauty and also the threat.
It's interesting you say it's abstract, because when I read about the exhibit before I saw any of these images, the first thing I thought of was, I'm going to see pictures of the Neponset River, or I'm going to see pictures of Wollaston Beach, actual places in the environment. These are very abstract. Are they all abstract in the show?
No, we have both.
Oh, you
We
do?
have both.
Okay.
Maybe the ones that are selected to show are abstract. Maybe I should have. But there was your cormorant.
Yes, right. Well, that's right. Yeah. We do have a couple more to show folks. We want to give them a sense. Now, this reminds me of an Arctic scene.
That's what it is. It's
Okay.
Lisa Gorin, and she has taken lots of trips, and she's passionate about what's happening with the ice at the poles,
Yes, yeah.
And as somebody was saying, I was listening to the lecture the other day by Bill McKibben, a famous environmentalist. The ice is melting. It's not going to come back.
Right.
It's irreversible. And there's so much that happens, related to the global warming, and this
Yeah.
is one example.
And sea level rise, they both go hand in hand, yeah.
Totally,
Yeah.
yes.
I think there's a couple more we can
Yeah.
show folks, just to give them a sense for what they might see. This looks very celestial.
And this is Aaron Starr, and it's called, what is it called? Ocean's Cycle of Life.
Oh, okay.
And so it is, it's abstract, all right, but
Yeah.
it suggests cycles, and it suggests water, and maybe it's a little watery. Okay, it could be also celestial,
Yeah.
but the idea behind it is, again, the life, the cycles of life that we are disturbing if we don't act.
Sure, sure. There is a special event, Yvonne, I know you wanted to talk about on Earth Day itself, right?
Yes.
April 22nd from 1 to 4, and what'll be happening?
We will have a lot of art projects for children. I'll show you, we'll create upcycle birds out of.
Being an art teacher at
Yeah,
heart,
I know.
you had to have
I know. I can't
some
get away
creations,
from it.
yeah.
And actually, Frax Four River residents donated 100 T-shirts.
Oh.
So this is. It says Green Future.
Yeah.
And when you think about little ones coming, this is a very little T-shirt.
Okay.
We want people to start thinking about the future of our little ones. So we'll be making T-shirts and birds and books. There'll be several artists from the gallery in Quincy, and they'll relate their artwork to what's happened, what they're showing in the gallery,
So they'll
and what
talk
they're
about
going to
their
be creating.
piece,
We
yeah.
have a book
All right,
artist that's
okay.
going to make a book. A large book with children. Actually, Augusta's idea was, because she's a fiber artist, to make
Yep.
the T-shirts.
Okay.
And other projects. There'll be other projects. We'll also have some of the. We'll have representation from environmental groups such as Mothers Out Front and Quincy Climate Action Network
Sure.
and Frax. And the church is very generous, First Parish Church, giving us the space to use. They're always very thoughtful about the environment and environmental justice. We also will have Kava from the publisher of Artscope magazine. I don't know, he lives in Quincy.
Oh, okay.
He also publishes his magazine across the street from the gallery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he'll be talking about how art raises awareness and creates community. And we also have Nathan Phillips, a professor from BU. He's an earth and environmental professor there. He'll be talking about the relationship of art to science. So we'll have a lot of speakers. Oh, we also have, potentially we have a native drumming circle.
Not quite clear yet, but
Yeah.
keeping your fingers crossed.
Okay, all right.
And also a group called Terra, Bella Terra, which is a violinist, a guitar singer, and a sound, digital sound person coming
Oh,
to.
a trio?
And
Yeah.
there will be parading around the
Yes.
common with the children when they've made their
When they-
bird.
Yeah, show,
and
show
wearing
your,
their
show, your,
little
show your bird
t-shirts.
again, Yvonne. We didn't get it the first time.
Well,
There
they
you-
can,
There you go.
they can walk with their little creatures, the
Okay.
bird creatures,
All right.
in their little t-shirts.
So fun
And-
for all ages.
And they'll learn about the environment in a
Bella
fun
Terra
way.
is beautiful earth in
Yeah,
Italian.
yes,
so,
right.
Okay, very nice. Will there be a tree planting? I heard there was also a tree planting.
That was in the planning, but somehow it never came through.
Oh, it didn't.
So we
Yeah.
decided to be creative in other ways.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I would you would probably encourage folks to plant
Yeah,
a
yeah.
tree in
Yes,
their own
right,
property,
yes,
right, on
yeah,
Earth Day. I know
yeah,
that's one of
yeah,
the events
yeah.
that always
Yes.
takes place. So I did want to read, if I could, just kind of the mission statement for Shared Habitat Earth, because it's quite involved in it, but I think it really describes
Thank you,
quite perfectly
yeah.
what it is you're trying to do. Shared Habitat Earth suggests cross-species respect. So right there, you're talking about, you
Yeah.
know, humans and nature interacting
Yeah.
respectfully, right? Intellectual, intercultural solidarity.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that, Barbara?
I meant it's about humans and animals. It's about humans dealing with each other in a solidarity. We have to be we have to work together
Okay.
to save life on this planet. There's so much antagonism going on. There's so much so many frictions among different groups of us humans. So, you know, we should talk together and work together, and the next thing is shared sense of solidarity.
Yes.
Of responsibility,
Yeah.
right? So we should work. We're all in the same boat. I'm very keenly aware of tensions, rising tensions among humans these days, which I think have to do with what we are all aware of and try not to think about too much. But we should, and we should face it and deal with it and deal with each other in a responsible way and deal with nature in a responsible way.
Yeah.
I sound like a preacher, I'm sorry.
Well,
but
well,
Yeah.
this is why you're here, though, to
Right,
talk about
right,
the
right.
organization. Where do you see Shared Habitat Earth, you know, going from here? First of all, this current exhibit, where does it go after Quincy?
Well, we have right now we have only one concrete plan, which is we're going to be at Lesley University next beginning of the year.
Okay.
I think we should reach out to get more young people involved, and we're working on that.
Okay.
Because I know they're very passionate about working for climate, and I should also say we're also trying to focus a little bit more on activism.
Okay.
Like when you go to our show in Quincy here, you see our art and you see QR codes, so you can get educated on issues and find out ways you can become active. So we're thinking of becoming a little bit more activist, reaching out to the young. If there are young people out there, please get in touch. We
Okay.
want
Yeah.
you,
All right.
So that's basic. But otherwise, we want to keep on doing what we're doing. It's necessary, you know.
How many actual pieces in this exhibit here in Quincy, do you know?
27. or something,
27?
Yeah.
Okay. It's free to go to, right?
Right,
There's
right.
No
Oh,
cost to go.
definitely.
Is there a cost to join SHE?
No, not at all.
No cost for
No,
that at all?
no.
Okay.
This one you mentioned Kava. You didn't mention his last name.
Oh.
Kava Mashtabai.
Yeah.
So he's one of the two
Yes.
speakers who are going to give a gallery talk.
Okay. Where are your artists from? Are they from the area?
Local,
Local.
Greater Boston, but people are getting in touch from Providence and New Hampshire and Maine. So it's
Yeah.
we're reaching further afield.
Yeah. What do you want folks to take away from this exhibit, Barbara, once they see it and once they, go to the event on Earth Day? What is it that you would like them to do?
I want them to come see our show.
Of course, that's number one, right? Yeah.
And I would like them to be aware, be informed, become active in whichever way they feel comfortable being
All right.
active. There's not one single way. One way could be to do art and join us. Another way could be to go on demonstrations. Another way, there's so many ways.
Okay.
So be informed and act in whichever way you feel like acting to help save life on this planet.
Period, end of story, right? What about for you, Yvonne?
I think the same thing. It's to make especially the younger generations cognizant of what is going on and to make choices for the future, because it's time to move forward with energy and to think in a progressive way, because we can't stay where we are now and expect that things are just going to work.
I want to thank you both for coming by and telling us about SHE and about this exhibit, and wish you success in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very
you.
much for having us
Oh,
here.
it's my pleasure. Just enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. It's going to be bright, but it's going to be brisk and breezy. The wind could gust up to 30 miles per hour later today. Look out for potential for brush fires. Please be extra careful with using fire outdoors today, with temperatures in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a little cooler, right around 50 degrees. Beautiful on Sunday, abundant sunshine, and starting to warm up beginning on Monday into the low 60s. Could be even more than that by the middle of next week. Could be near 80 degrees. Thanks again to Barbara Eskin and Yvonne Lamoth for joining us today from SHE, Shared Habitat Earth. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Monday here in the program, we're going to learn about the Community Autism Resource Center of Massachusetts with its director down in Swansea. Meantime, check out our website anytime. That's qatv.org. You'll find our latest programs there. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.